been struggling with anxiety or this nagging feeling of doubt for some time, then I encourage you to listen to what I have to say and to read the link below all about anxiety attachment. So, what is attachment that has anxiety related to it, and why should it matter to you if you've been struggling? So, here's the thing. Sometimes people come to therapy because they have anxiety, because they have these worries, these doubts, these fears, and we challenge some of their thinking, and then they feel better about themselves. Sometimes that just simply doesn't work. So, what's that about? What that's about usually is that there's something called attachment anxiety. Attachment, just to define attachment means the ways in which you learn to trust other people, to connect with other people, and to connect with yourself, and the way in which you understand yourself in the world. Now, so attachment theory basically talks about, it was written all about by Mary Ainsworth and John Bobley, and they're both researchers about attachment theory. And the basics of it is that when we come into this world, based on how our earliest interactions, so from when we're a baby until and throughout our developing years, based on how people responded to us, our needs, our emotions, our understandings, our interactions, that's how we learn to make sense of our sense of self and who we are, our value, our importance, what's allowed, what's not allowed, how we need to behave, how we should behave, how we shouldn't behave. So if the people around you were really well-meaning, right? Most of the people who were in our lives were well-meaning. Sometimes some people have been around like really traumatizing situations, but whatever situations you were in, right? Based on how the people understood their reactions to you, then there were messages that you picked up. So for example, if you had a need, if you got angry and your parents or caregivers were able to sit with you in the anger, or sit with you in confusion, or sit with you in the discomfort, then you get the message, it's okay to be angry. It's okay not to know. I'm going to be with you in this. With anxious attachment, right? It's more of like the parent or the caregiver kind of gets anxious and gives over the message of like, it's not okay to feel certain things, or stop doing this, or like, I'm not as consistently able to respond to you, to hold you, to understand you, and to provide for you, right? And so as an adult, if you have anxiety and you notice that you doubt yourself and you worry about things and something changes and suddenly you're feeling like you're, spiraling up and down, you might want to look at if there's an internal voice in those instances that's telling you, you're just too much. You're just too much for me. I can't handle you. I can't handle life. I can't handle these situations. I just can't do this, right? Well, now, why is that important? Well, because at the end of the day, we all live inside of our own little worlds. And the voices that we ingrained in ourselves feed us beliefs, feed us thoughts, and feed us memories, right? Even on a body level, from somatic psychotherapy, from some of the somatic therapies, we learned that our bodies send us messages. We have muscle memory, experiences shape who we are, and our bodies hold that, as well as the thoughts. We have beliefs of ourselves, which feed how we choose to interact with people, how we show up to the world, how we engage in relationships, how we trust about relationships and opportunities and about things changing in our life. And how well we adapt to changes, transitions, and new and old things shifting, because that's what life is about. So if you notice that you have that voice inside of you, it might be the voice of an inner critic. It might be the voice of, according to internal family systems or parts work, it might be a gatekeeper or a judge, right? A part of you that wants to keep you in check, wants to help you be able to move forward. But in those instances, what you might really need in order to move forward is more of like an inner compassionate self, or something that we call an inner witness. Can we help you develop and even strengthen a part of you that really is just witnessing and is able to offer compassion to the part of you that is feeling so overburdened and so hurt and so lost? Now, why is this important? Why am I taking you down this trail of inner, the concept of attachment and the concept of parts on the inside? Well, because when we have this this unconscious exchange, because we always have like unconscious exchanges about ourselves, about people in the world, about situations, right? How we process information. then it really impacts how stressed or how calm you are in everyday interactions, right? So if the regular, like challenging your thoughts aren't working, what you might want to do is go deeper, right? And I wrote about like EMDR therapy, parts work, trauma informed care, um, some somatic methods, different methods where you're really leaning into and opening up your internal world, so you really get to untangle, right, some of like the neural networks that are related to a younger part, right, a younger child part, or a fear from the past, or a belief or a message you got from the past that keeps firing up. We kind of want to untangle that, and we want to create a new route, a new thought process, a new belief, right, in your brain. It's all about neural networks. So we want to create and fire up a different way that your brain sends messages to you when you have these kinds of anxiety-provoking situations, or even an anxiety-provoking thought. So that's why I wrote about, healing anxiety using this attachment lens, because when you get to the core of what the anxiety is really all about, the fear, right? And it could be a fear in relationships. It could be a fear of never succeeding. It could be a fear of being alone. It could be a fear of not being good enough. Whatever the worry is beneath like the anxiety that's coming out. When you get to the core and you really start offering healing to those parts, then you can experience real relief and transformation happens there. So if you have any questions about attachment anxiety or core level healing, I'd be happy to answer. I hope you have a great day.